Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Bobby. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good, Bobby. How about you, Rob?
Yeah, Rob, where you at? Oh wait, he's at home watching live on the stream. How you doing over there, Dave?
I'm doing all right, doing all right.
Yep, same here. Another day. This is episode 45 of the Area 51 Racing Podcast. I can't believe it's already that long. 45 episodes. Five more episodes to go in season one. So, um, I'm getting ready to do the intro. Tonight we have the one, the only, the legendary Dave Henderson on the show
Hi,
for uh,
everybody.
for episode 45. Rob can't make it. Unfortunately, Rob got a concussion during the weekend, so Rob will not be joining us today.
Rumor has
Um,
it he was playing for the Jets.
yeah.
Took a Tua.
So I am going to do the show with Dave. Dave's going to tell us a little bit about his racing and how he got involved. And then about 8:30, 8:45, we're going to bring the 2024 junior late model champion, Kylie Glick, on the show. Pretty excited about that. But with that being said, this is episode 45, and we are officially live.
Yeah! Area 51 podcast. Jeremy Clements is going to win at Daytona. You're going to believe this? Oh my God.
So here comes the young lady out of Lincoln, California. This is the Kylie Glick. Here goes Kylie Glick.
In the business of my dream, I don't think that they're ready. Let's go. This cap is right here. Bobby, what you got for me?
Episode 45. Dave, what we'll start with this. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in racing.
Well, my name's Dave. I grew up right outside of Detroit growing up. My father was really big into racing. That's what got me started in on it. He drove and also built cars for some of the guys at Flat Rock Motor Speedway, and part-time ARCA ride through R&M Motorsports and alternators. Just ran the Crazy Eights for a long, long time. Got to be around a lot of good people at the cement track, and my mom busting her ass, every single week to allow me to get out there and see, my childhood heroes. And that's really where it started from. And then when my dad came into the picture, bought me just the cheapest, shittiest go kart that the world has ever seen. Had a stop sign or a yield sign for the body of it, so nothing flew up underneath me. And we lived in the middle of the city back then, so I was able to make one hot lap around the block and pull it back in the garage, shut the garage door. That way, if anybody saw me out there messing around, that the cops wouldn't know that that's where we lived. So that's how I got into racing. As far as driving goes, I really didn't do much driving. I have ran motocross for years and years and years. So that's really been my background as far as racing goes. And then I started, obviously, at a very young age, watching NASCAR, Formula One, IndyCar. NHRA was real big back then, watching Bernstein and John Force, John the Snake. They were some of my heroes, back when those cars still looked like cars, and then rails were the coolest thing that the world has ever seen. Real big into this is kind of embarrassing, but huge into monster trucks back in the day. Gravedigger is always my favorite. Those red lights turn on the front of the car and Bad to the Bone starts playing. Mom would, of course, take me to the Pontiac Silverdome, which was a huge venue, and they'd get all sorts of wound up. But taking me there, so really it's, my mom that really knew that I was into racing, and she, supported my habit, throughout the years as far as taking me to the racetrack. If somebody was signing autographs at a local dealership, she'd make sure that, I was either hooky for school or if it was on a weekend, she would stand in line. I think we stood in line for 4 hours in the middle of summer over at Red Home in Pontiac to see Dale Sr. and just get a picture with him and have him sign a little diecast 124th for me. But ever since I can remember, I always had Hot Wheels, the little micro machines, uh, the big toy trucks, all that good stuff. Probably a personal favorite of mine that a lot of the younger crowd won't remember is Snake Bite. Uh, Used to party with Bigfoot back in the day. So that's kind of my childhood growing up into it. And then once I became well enough to start getting into it and going to Michigan International Speedway, going to see NASCAR cars. Smoke was my first major interest in NASCAR. So he was my first one. And then when he was about ready to retire, I got really big into Kyle Busch. And that's where I've been at for the rest of my life, is, being a huge Kyle Busch fan. And then obviously moved down here to the Charlotte area, which is the mecca of NASCAR. So I got to meet a lot of really cool people. Meet Kyle Busch quite a few times over at Kyle Busch Motorsports, and then that's about it as far as like my racing experience goes. Now I enjoy going to Charlotte Motor Speedway, and went to Hotlanta this fall with my girl Stacy. That was her first race period. After the Hickory race, so big step up for her.
Very cool. So, I remember the Pontiac Silverdome. Like, I don't know how old I was, but I do remember it. Um, and then obviously Ford Field, and what was the Joe Louis Arena?
Yep, Joe Louis Arena and Coble Hall used to have
Yep.
shows there. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember those. Matter of fact, I think the last game Adrian and I went to at the Joe Louis was the Penguins versus the Sabres. It was a weird exhibition game.
Hmm.
It wasn't Detroit, and it was like,
Right.
that's weird.
Yep.
But Detroit was there. Like they were. It was weird that like they watched. I remember this, and I was like, why? And
Right.
I never did figure out what the heck that was about, but I think it was like they just kind of like, it was like an exhibition game that everybody played. So like Detroit was in there, Penguins were in there, they were there. It was weird.
Yeah, that sounds that sounds just a little kooky. They're
Yeah,
like,
it was
hey,
kind of cool though. I
you
do.
get a car. You get a car.
Yeah, let's
You
go.
want to
Y'all
play?
get a
Come
car.
on.
So how did you meet Jeremy Clements?
I met Jeremy Clements actually through the Rise Guys um, uh, telecast here in North Carolina. They had him on, and honestly had no idea at that time who Jeremy was. And having the Kyle Busch and being 51, I immediately was drawn into him the next week. He was a different kind of personality on TV than or on radio than what I heard from normal guys. He wasn't the pitching the race guy. He was there having fun, a couple curse words every now and again, playing skits with them. But yeah, that's how I learned about Jeremy. And then, of course, that Saturday, I watched him, and I'm kind of half-ass rooting for him. And at that time, he was driving the what was it, the Repair Pal 51 car back in the day.
Comparable vehicles.
Repairable, yeah. So I started watching him then, and then the Racing Warehouse started to sponsor him. So Eric kind of got me into him, and I big supporter of TRW. So I started to get some fenders with the Racing Warehouse on them, just to support my local community. And then it turned into just the absolute shit show you see behind me of pretty much 3/4 of a car down in the corner of my basement. And then once I had met Jeremy, I knew that he was going to be my Xfinity driver. Just real calm, cool, collect. And then that was at one of the fan days. Never met him, never thought too much of him, and then realized how much of just a normal dude he is. And sat there, talked to absolutely everybody that came through, no matter how stupid the question was, how long he had to sit there signing autographs, and then come outside and eat a hot dog with you and have a Coke, get a picture by the car with them. Time was not an issue. Just wanted to absolutely please everybody. Where I went to other fan days, and it's been all right. The driver's going to be here from 1 to 2:30. If you're not there within them, you get one selfie and one autograph. Move on. We're with meeting Jeremy. It was and it's been the same every time I've met him. Just overwhelmingly kind to his friends, family, sponsors, and everybody that supports him.
Now, what does the what does the podcast mean to you?
The podcast means to me is joining up with my local, or I shouldn't even say local. It's national, because you're up in Ohio, Rob's over in Wisconsin. We've got, even my Nigerian people. It's become a worldwide type of ordeal. And then, of course, I get to do it with my friends and figure out, and hang out with you guys, on a somewhat day-to-day basis. And if we are going to do the hat dance, I can join right along with you. But you guys can't see it, but Bobby changed his hat halfway through that, which is a trademark of mine. If you look a couple podcasts ago, I think I changed hats
13 times.
Shit, I was about ready to say it had to be at least a baker's dozen.
So we were just talking about this, and we're gonna announce. Dave and I are actually going to announce the paint scheme for Phoenix.
Yep.
Here in a little bit. So I switched hats over to the Alliance Driveway Solutions, but we're gonna announce that here after we talk to Kylie. But here's the last question I have for you, because Kylie is in the waiting room.
Okay.
What has been the biggest surprise for you, and what have you learned doing the podcast?
The biggest surprise for me is honestly our next guest. Um, she went from being a guest on our show to being, a blossoming, hopeful NASCAR superstar. That has been my biggest surprise. Um, the biggest thing I've learned from this podcast is probably the outreach that we have and the actual followers that we have and how much we are able to give back to our supporters and teams and sponsors, and we're gonna continue to do that. I know we got away from it for a little while as far as the giveaways and stuff like that. That is something that I do want to bring back, and I'm seriously thinking about just for the new season. I know we have only got 5 episodes left, but we might have a surprise coming into our little break, and we might have a big winner coming into season 2 of something really sweet. But yeah, that's one of my biggest things is seeing people, like when I was at the racetracks and seeing how many people actually know who Jeremy Clements is, and then introducing them to our podcast and them saying how cool it is, and how do we get involved and this, that, and the other. And that's how we get half of our uh, people that come on here. That's the only reason I got on here is I was asked to be on the show. Um, because everybody knows that I wanted something Bobby wanted, and we just started talking, and that's how this just continuous ball of whatever the hell we do just continued to roll, and it's just cool.
I'm 100%. I will 100% agree with you on that. That it was what I wanted and you took away. But to be honest, I'm glad I got the piece that I got because my piece is a full piece and yours is not.
Bigger isn't always better, Bobby.
That's okay. But the very last question, I actually skipped one. What are you hoping to accomplish over the next 6 months to a year on our podcast?
I would really, really like to get deeper into it. I do love all of our guests. I would hope to get I don't want to say bigger and better guests, but I would like to grow in the sport. Maybe get some other drivers in here. Obviously, I would love to have Jeremy on the show, and I know that's been delayed a couple times, but
He
you know I
was on technically.
yeah, technically, um, but to actually have a sit down show with him, I'd like to do that. I would like to get a better picture of me in the intro. Um, I love Brandon to death. I absolutely do. But damn, did he pick the 2 shittiest pictures I think I've ever taken in my life. Kind of standing there looking like this with a thing of Coke in my hand when everybody knows that I'm truly a Mountain Dew fan. Uh, but no, jokingly, I do love the new one. And then we're obviously going to update it because we have Kylie Glick, who not only is a race winner, but a champion on the show. So we definitely have to get with our gurus over at our graphics department and get that remade over the break. But those are just a couple things that I think we're planning on doing, and we're gonna have a good sit down over this winter break,
Yep.
figure out what's next and where to go from there, how to make the show bigger, better, and do awesome things in the future.
So I made a mistake. So I'm gonna share these real quick, Dave. These are the pictures that I meant to share.
Yep. So those are my father. That's my father's race car over at Flat Rock Motor Speedway, just outside of Detroit. And then that's him and my little sister Roxy. With it had to be a year-end race car because that thing was beat to hell. But I remember everything about that trailer. I remember everything about that car. Um, there's some stuff that uh, I would wish I could have told you was legal on that car, but we did things the most half-assed way that we possibly could just to get to the track. Oh, and there's me with the two-time champion Kyle. Um, get my door signed with my big old cheese.
So now that we are done with your segment, we got segment two, let's say. I'm trying to scroll. We have the 2024 champion in the building with Tony. How you
Give
guys
it
doing
up.
tonight?
Hey there.
Congratulations on your championship.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
And that
Tony, nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you guys.
congratulations on your championship as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, we've heard you many times as being the spotter in the ear, and I think you got just as much of a championship in this as Kylie does. The way she speaks of you very highly. I know you've watched the show from time to time, and I don't. I definitely think you're great influence, and definitely put her in a great position.
Well, it's a team sport, so it takes everybody involved, and that's what we do here is we make sure that the drivers can perform at their best, and that's pretty much what we try and accomplish.
So Kylie, tell us about the weekend and how you prepared for championship weekend.
Yeah, so we were at racing at All American Speedway this weekend, and we had a pretty fast car on Friday, and it went really well. The rain was coming in, so we didn't get too much practice, so it was cut a little bit early, but our car was super good and everything. So then we rolled on to Saturday, and in the main, we qualified first in the junior late model and third in the pros. And then in the main, there was an inverted start. And so we ended up um, finishing second and then brought home the championship. And then we rolled out for the twin 30s, the pro late model main events. Since it was a rain dated race, they were running two pro late model mains and they were both 30 laps. So we ran two pro late model mains on Saturday, and it was really good. They did inverted start on the first one, and we started fifth,
Fifth.
fourth, I
Fifth.
think.
Yeah, it was supposed to be fifth, but we ended up fourth. Someone
Yeah.
about went to the back. They had an issue, they had to go to the back.
So we started fourth, and it was pretty good. It was a fun race, I guess you could say, but we ended up finishing third in that race, and then we got ready to head out for the next main, and we settled in second for a while in that, or we settled in third, I think, for most of that race, and then finished third in both the pro late model mains. So it was a really good weekend, and I'm glad that we came home with the championship, wrapped that up, and ready for next season at the track.
I was keeping up with pictures that your mom was sending me and whatnot, and I was sitting there and sorry, I got a little choked. I'm gonna get a little choked up, but she sent me that picture of Dad's name on the like I said in memory of, and I lost it, and I wanted to say I appreciate all of you guys for doing that because that meant a lot.
Yeah, of course. We love to represent that on a car.
So Dave, I'll let you ask her a couple questions while I'm going through pictures real quick.
Gotcha. All right, Kylie. Well, you know, tell us first and foremost, I know that you had a quick turnaround to go to from the junior back up to the pro series. Did you have time to soak it in between races, or were you able to park it on the front stretch and get everything, that and all the cheers and applaud that you deserved?
Yeah, we definitely we got to park on the front stretch and do our the interview and everything and all the celebrations and everything. And then we had a race in between the pros and the juniors. So we had a little bit of time, and then we went back to the pits and got the car adjusted and everything and ready for the pro A model main.
Gotcha. Now, over the course of the year, I gotta ask them, has she done anything that you were like, wow, I can't believe she just did that?
Yeah, there's a few times. Sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's what are you thinking? But the biggest thing Kylie does is she does it right. So what I found with a lot of drivers is they get stubborn. They won't drive the line you tell them they have to drive. Whatever that line is at each track, there is a preferred line. And there you get a lot of drivers where they'll come and tell you, oh, the car's tight or the car's loose or it doesn't turn very well. And so they don't drive the correct line. They try and drive the line that they feel the car wants to drive. And that makes it harder to adjust the car. Kylie drives it exactly where you're supposed to drive it almost all the time. So even if her feedback isn't very good, you can see what the car needs. The tire temps, your visual experience, it just tells you what the car needs. And then when she tells you what she's trying to explain, you can figure it out real easily. And that is probably the biggest thing she does the best of anything, is she just drives the correct line almost all the time, regardless of if the car can't do it. It doesn't matter. The car can be horrible, and she will drive it correctly. And so then you can see that it's bad, and I'll tell her, okay, after 2 laps or 3 laps, bring it in. It's not going to get any better. Let's just fix this, because you can see it, and that's what she does the best. There are occasions earlier she would fall out of the seat a little bit, and you have to snap her back and say, hey, I know it's a little boring part of the race here where you're, 3 behind somebody and 3 ahead of somebody, but you got to be paying attention, and that'll happen sometimes, but not as much lately. That's kind of fallen away. She's gotten more aggressive. I think she's built more confidence in herself. She's gotten better.
Now, is that something when she goes to the pro series, and then obviously we're gonna start getting to some bigger tracks, like she was talking about the bull ring, and how it was really nice to feel that car actually get into full stride, when she was talking about the pro series, and learning when to brake, and how different it was that she could feel the horsepower change and the brake package and the fall off. It was really cool to hear her, probably in the last 6 weeks or so, I think. We'd really been talking about it, just the knowledge of the car and what it's doing. So you're gonna start getting to bigger tracks where there might be a preferred line, and then there's maybe a faster line. What are the adjustments that we're going to start seeing possibly next year when we do start to go to bigger tracks?
Well, for her adjustments will be just getting fast. That's the biggest thing that I want to accomplish with her next year, is I want to work on speed, just raw speed. The racing part will come. I always say it's kind of like the lottery. Racing's like the lottery. So you never know what you're going to get once the race starts. but raw speed you can make happen, and that's mostly on the driver making it happen. They have to do everything right, and then their feedback gets me to do it right, and then we can be right together. But they have to be bold when they have to be. It's up to the driver. I mean, you can make a car that'll work really good all the time, and if the driver's not going to drive it to where it's at its maximum potential, it won't be as fast. And that's something we're going to really work on with her next year, is focus on her, because she's stepping into a place now where there's guys that have a lot of experience in the Pro Late Model Series out here. We've got Derek Thorne running Pro Late Models, Lenny White's running Pro Late Models, Jeremy Doss comes every now and then, and these are super late model drivers, real good super late model drivers. And so you're racing against them all the time. Plus, the car sure goes to local track. So then you got the local track hero that's there that's really good. They're tough to beat. That's the whole great thing about Cars Tour. You go to all these tracks where you've got the local 5 or 6 guys that are the top guys added to the tour guys. So she's going to have to be good, like right off the get with speed. But she doesn't have to be good with the racing part. That part will just come with experience and time. You don't know what you're going to get, and you can learn from all these guys when you're racing them to follow them or do what you need to do with them. And I can get her, like, hey, stay with this group right here, stay in this pack. And that'll be, just, we don't have to pass these guys right now. And that's something I tell her a lot sometimes. We don't have to pass these guys right now, just stay with them. And that's big because you learn while you're doing it. Where the speed part you have to make on your own, that you have to manufacture. So we'll work on that part the most. If these tracks she's never been to, she's going to Tucson, Kern, Irwindale. She's never been to these tracks, and they're fast. Kern is really fast. Irwindale, well, it's closing. It'll be fast there. Tucson is really fast for 2 laps. And then the pace slows down, but it's super. You got to be up on the wheel for those 2 laps you're qualifying because it's super quick. Maybe go to Evergreen, which is a big 5/8 flat track. These are tracks she'll go to that she's got to learn how to drive fast, and that'll help her progress when she moves up the fish ladder. She goes up to ARCA West and then goes to the Truck Series.
Now, were you guys just as shocked as the rest of the world when they were talking about Irwindale, closing down?
No, and I'm still not that shocked because it's been closing down for 15 years. So,
see, over here on the East Coast, we have this mythical creature that lives over there that has been the thing of legends, for years and years and years. And we just get to see it on TV, where, a lot of people, a lot of people ask me, Dave, what about Rockingham? What about, even Wilkesboro? What about, Nazareth? They closed because there was bigger and better things, and the attendance had dropped so far down that now we're re-seeing history, and people that didn't get to see it back in its heyday, like at Wilkesboro, that was a huge undertaking. That track, if you look at pictures of it 2-3 years ago, had trees growing through the middle of it.
It looked horrible. I mean, we seen it on Dale Jr.'s show, Lost Speedways, and we all saw what it looked like. Well, Irwindale won't have the tree issue, I can tell you that. But it closed about 6 or 7 years ago for a year and a half.
Okay.
What happens is the owners buy the property, and they always seem to want to turn it into a strip mall or something. And then they get the environmental impact report, and it gets denied. And then they go get another one, and it gets denied. And once it gets to 3 or 4, then they resell the property. And in terms of reselling it, while the new guy's getting a new environmental impact report, new plans to the city and all this stuff, the track always reopens. So it may be its last time, but I'm not as, I've been down this Irwindale's closing road. This is the 3rd time.
Okay. So I guess it with the
If
improvement.
it opened in a year and a half, don't be surprised. If in a year and a half, all of a sudden there's a big banner that it's reopening, don't be shocked that it did. But it might close, and it'll be a shame because that track race is 5 lanes wide. Where do you race 5 lanes wide at? Competitively, like can win from any lane. When they drop the green flag and you're two abreast, it immediately before you enter turn one, it's 5 to 6 cars wide.
Wow.
That's how they're racing. It is wild to race there. It is the best place to watch. It is the best place to race. It's fast. And I mean, and the crowd is exciting. It's always jam packed there. There's always, it holds like 6,500 people or something, and they're all there.
Good.
And you start from the very top of the roof, so you have the best views. Like you look and you remember when you're a kid, you made a little racetrack with your Hot Wheels. It looks just like that for you. So that's what it looks like when you're spotting. You're over the top of the whole track, and you're just like moving your cars around with your fingers. It's really cool. I mean, it will be sad that if it does go away, but I'm not as.
So you're saying if Kylie gets to run one more year and we're able to make a trip out west, that would be the
Supposedly the last date is December 21st. So
of this year.
Of this year.
Oh, I didn't know that soon.
Last day on December 21st. We'll see if it ends up being the last day, but I would bet another year or two it's back, and you'll be racing there, and the track will be back to as fast as it always was. They poured it with good asphalt, so it's good. It'll be a good track.
Good.
I think we need to take a trip to the West Coast, but I think we need to get Kylie over here and race Flat Rock or Toledo.
I don't know. All the good racing's out west. That's where all the good race car drivers are from, all the great engineers, all the good crew chiefs are all out here in the West. Just think the list of them. And there's a long line of them. Going out east is just another racetrack. Just because they got, North Carolina there, but other than that, it's just another racetrack. You go up to Wisconsin and Minnesota and race up there, Michigan, and they got great racing up there too. The Northwest is booming. They've got great racing in the Northwest. I mean, if you've been to Wenatchee, that place is really fast, super fast for a quarter-mile racetrack. Monroe, Evergreen Speedway, that is an awesome flat 5/8 mile facility to go race at, and it's got great history. Tri-Cities that just reopened is a crazy small Pocono triangle 3/8 mile, and it's wild. So I don't know that the back east is the have to do thing, but it's just another thing. You save a lot of money just racing where your home is.
Right. No, he's from North Carolina. I'm the one from Ohio, so I'm over here like, come this way.
That season, there's good racing in the upper Middle East there where you're at.
Yeah.
No, you guys call it the Midwest, but the Midwest guys in like Wyoming somewhere.
What do they call it now? Upper Midwest?
Yeah, I just called it the upper Middle East.
So Kylie, what was going through your mind through that race, knowing that the championship was coming to a close?
It was really good. I was more so focused on racing and everything since we knew that we had the championship locked in and everything, and we were mostly focused on just racing with the pros and getting that accomplished and having a good night in those, and just focusing so we have a good car for next year and everything.
Now, speaking of cars, are we keeping the same car for next year, or are you going to get put up in maybe something a little more specialized in the super late models?
No, we'll keep. She's got 2 pro late model cars, and we'll probably make one a primary, a big track car, and then one primarily the short track car and Roseville type car. They're both good. They could both be super late models if we pulled the motor out. That's the only difference between a pro late model and that is the shocks and the motor, but everything else is the same on the cars. So there's really no difference. And the super late model thing is really not very big here now. It's expensive, but the pro late model, 602 pro late model is huge. It's just giant. There's a lot of cars everywhere. I mean, you could go race. They had 20 something cars at the car school race, and the next night they had 22 cars at Madera racing the same cars.
Right. See, that's what shocked me the most when we first started talking about Kylie, and knowing about her race car, was how similar the two were. I think all three of us thought that she was hopping from car to car, and we didn't realize that it was literally just a chassis setup and then taking the pucks out.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to the team itself. Is those are two completely different setups in the same car within, what do you say, 20 minutes?
Yeah, and it's not really that big a difference in the setup, just a little bit, but not bad. We've done this a long time, so our team's pretty good at it. But when we came up with the junior late model program in 2015, that was the goal, was to take what car do we already have that's racing the most, and let's just figure out a way to slow that car down a little bit for younger drivers. And so we already had the pro late models out here. And so we just said, well, we'll just put a restrictor plate on them and turn the RPM chip down. And that takes 3 seconds to do that. So then we weren't thinking at the time that people would try and run both. The tracks that were doing it, the main track that was doing it. No one thought, okay, the kid's going to do both races the same night. But we thought if they came back the next year, it would be inexpensive for the person who already owned the car. Now they don't have to go buy another car. They just pull the restrictor plate off and turn their RPM up 200 on the RPM box, and that's it. And now they're back racing. So it's kind of made that easy to do both. And now there's more drivers that do both. As they get better, they decide, okay, I want to start running more laps in a night, and so they'll run both races. And you'll pick races you can do it at, races where you can achieve well, not just every race, but some races you'll say, no, I'm not going to do that one, but we'll do this one because we can do better.
Now, Kylie, what does that restrictor plate mean to you? Are you completely anti-restrictor plate now that you actually got a taste of speed and ready to go?
Yeah, I really like the Pro Series and just how competitive they are in the car, the whole field, I guess. And you're racing with, like Tony said, like Derek Thorne and all the big guys, you're racing against them. So I definitely prefer the pros now that I got a taste of it, but I'm ready for next season just to focus on the pros and get out of the juniors.
We can't wait either. It's going to be an absolute amazing season. And, obviously your expectations are super, super high.
Well, we'll keep them kind of limited, because you don't know what's going to happen. That's the thing about racing.
Right.
You could be good one day and not so good the next. And, I've been doing racing since 1985. So to me, you have to manage your expectations. I always tell them, only worry about things you can control. Don't worry about anything you can't control. And that's what you need to do when you race.
I'm sorry, Kylie. I'll tone it down a little bit. I'm excited for you.
I think we all are. And talking about excitement, Rob says that he wishes he could be here. I don't know if you heard or not, but over the weekend he got a mild concussion and obviously is not here tonight because his doctor told him, do not have screen time for 2 days.
Yeah, that's one thing we've learned now over time is the concussion protocols need to be adhered to.
Yeah, when I was growing up, it was get up, take some ibuprofen, and take a nap.
Exactly.
Now it's a complete 180 of No, you don't go to sleep to save your life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I had
You
to
know,
stay on him, I think Saturday, because I was so worried that he was gonna fall asleep. He's sitting there, he's like, "Yeah, I'm watching the race, not feeling too good," and he's FaceTiming me at one point, and you could just tell he was over there like doing this rollback. I'm like, "Dude, you fall asleep. Give me Brett's number." I was like, "Give me your son's number, so if something happens, I can call. Somebody can come get your butt off the floor." But yeah, I'm super excited about 2025. Looking forward to it. Obviously 2024, heck of a year.
Jump off the side.
Heck of a year for both of you.
yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think we accomplished a lot, and it was a really good season. And the start of it wasn't as strong as I think I hoped, but I think we made up for it after I think the summer really kicked it off for us.
Yeah, that's when she started getting really good about midsummer, I would say. It just things started to be clicking. I will say she's made me work harder than I've had to work in probably 3 or 4 years as a crew chief. To start the year just to get something that worked for her and get it to work right. You know, and then once that started happening, we started becoming really fast, really quickly. You know, and she started, like I said, she always just drives correctly, and that's the most important thing. I can't, a lot of drivers, I can't tell you how many times they get stubborn and they don't want to do that. And it makes it really difficult, especially younger ones. It makes it difficult because you don't know what the car really wants, and they don't know because they can't explain it to you. They don't have the feedback yet.
Right. Like you had said, she's made you work the hardest. Are you guys staying together for the next season? So you'll be the voice in her ear, or are you taking somebody else under your wing and kind of develop as we go?
No, we try and stay with the same person here. That once you kind of build a rapport with them, we stay with the same person. So like I'll crew chief and spot for her when she races. And if there's someone else, like when we do the Trans Am stuff, I'll work with someone else there or something like that. But we try and keep with the same drivers as much as we can. That way there's the rapport, because the language me and her have, Mike's not going to have the same language with her. And it'd take him, maybe a whole 2 weekends to figure out what she's trying to say. And that's just wasted time and energy. And this way, it's nothing's wasted. She can tell me something really quickly, and that's all I need to know. And I've got that down now. And so that's why we try and do that here. We don't necessarily develop drivers, we advance drivers. So the goal is to get them to move on beyond us to somewhere else. And that's our big goal. And she'll be doing that, not shortly, but she will be doing that. There will be a time that she will be flying the coop, if you will.
I know Rob, Dave, and I have all talked about it. 2024 has been an up and down year, but to see you win your first race and then you turn around and win your second race and then you turn around and win the championship all in 1 year, and we jump on board with you as a partner, you jump on with us as a partner, it's just been a full circle, and we can't be more proud of everybody that you and Tony and the whole team, like Dave, Rob, and myself, appreciate you guys very much and keep up the good work.
Yeah, I really can't do without all my backings, I guess, and you guys are a really big help, and I really appreciate you guys helping out this season.
You want to do your sponsor, um what do you call that, Dave?
Oh, you got to do the sponsor ramble after every win and every championship. I mean, at the end of my segment, I had to thank Mountain Dew, my dog, God, my mom and dad for being here.
Yeah. I don't think I could do it without Caliber Collision Area 51 podcast, Driven Sunglasses, and Palmer Signs, and the Nate Clower Motorsports team for giving me a great car, and my parents for helping me get here, and then God for just blessing me and everything. And yeah.
All right. Now, do we have any up and coming things we can kind of put on a cliffhanger for the upcoming year? Maybe a paint scheme, maybe a new sponsor, anything like that that we can kind of put out there as a teaser.
But you can't give it away.
Yeah,
You
we
can
can't give it
kinda
away.
cliffhang it.
Yeah, we got to cliffhang it.
We're going to Indy at the end of like in the middle of December for the PRI show. So yeah. That's the biggest thing I think we're looking forward to for the end of this season this year.
Yeah, we almost skipped all over we got so caught up in the championship and everything that I almost forgot about the whole Hoosier ordeal, because, that was a huge crowning achievement, for you this year as well. And then, going to Indianapolis and winning the championship. I know I got caught up in it the last 3 weeks, if rooting you on for the championship, that I kind of lost sight of the whole Hoosier thing.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Might be some purple
Yeah.
on the car next year. That might be your cliffhanger. There might be some purple on the car next year.
Okay, all right, I can hang with that.
Yeah, I like it. Purple helmet.
Yeah.
So that might be something that you guys might think about. What might be purple? Let's see.
I know a couple big banners that are purple and white that
Yeah.
I have down here in the basement. I'm not gonna say it out loud, but
Right.
that would be a hell of a step.
That's something else she does. She does it right. And that's where she's, things that she does correctly. And that's good. And she's passionate. You can't beat that. That's one thing crew chiefs want is a passionate driver. Even if you're a great racer, but you're not passionate or you don't really care about it, most crew chiefs don't like those guys. They'll use them for a stat or like to say, yeah, the guy's good, but really they don't want to be around them. They want someone that's why crew chiefs are crew chiefs. They want to be passionate about the car. They're thinking about the car at 2 o'clock in the morning, and they want their driver the same way. And that's what she is. She's passionate about racing. Everything consumes her about it. So it makes you happy about it. Makes you consumed with it, the same way. That's the same feeling you guys get when you talk to her. It's because of that, because you're passionate about it. And then you see this, and you're like, it just draws you to it more.
Yep, I do like watching the social media feeds. Of course, I'm Eastern time over here, so I don't get them until probably about noon, 1 o'clock. But the girly, I think you posted one today with changing from your regular get up to the gear and then finish putting on the lip gloss, and I'm like, yep, that looks 100% her. So that's exactly it right there.
And then about like 2 minutes after that, I was in the car.
Really?
I was like,
is it that fast?
Yeah, we had to. I said, he's like, all right, we get in the car. I was like, hold up, I gotta film this really quick. And we got in the car about 2 minutes later, and we were pulling out to go on the track.
Right.
And you would. I worked with by working with Tony Bridger, I kind of learned to let that kind of stuff just go. When they're going to do it, because it's important now. This isn't 1980. I tell people all the time, this isn't 1985 when you didn't do that. Now you have to. So when that moment comes up, that's part of the creative process. You need to let them have that moment to do something like that, because it could be important down the road. That 5 seconds I can wait. It's not going to change our lap times or whatever the car is going to do. It's not going to change that. So just let it happen. And then the driver's happier and everybody's happier at the end of the day.
Well, you can even see that, since we've been following you for, the last couple months, your following has gotten, I would say, if I was you, darn near overwhelming, as far as the likes and comments, I don't know, how passion, could keep you up for hours trying to reply to so many congratulations and, that a girl and, thank you. And, like we always talk about, just the Hot Wheels cars, that, that makes kids' day. And that's just a couple minutes out of your day that, are posted online and thousands of people see them every single day. I just think that's so cool.
Yeah. And that's probably the biggest thing, I think, are the fans and everything, and interacting with them. And I mean, growing a huge loyal fan base, that's a really big part of the racing community and everything. So to do that, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's gotten some of these. They've been over 1 million views on some of the videos. And I'm amazed. I mean, I see her all the time. So to me, I get 1 million views just seeing her all the time. But she does. It draws people in. And, it's like anything else. There's people out there that can do the same thing and it won't work. And I think whenever somebody's passionate about something, it always shows through and other people can see it. They just visually see it. And that's what comes through with her. It's her passion and what she wants to do and what she wants to become.
So Tony, I'm gonna throw this out here real quick. What do you guys think when she brings those donuts in?
Oh man. The first thing is I don't need to be any heavier than I am. I mean, I'm 6 foot 240, and I should be like maybe 205 at the most. And my wife is also a really good cook, so I don't know how I'm keeping that weight from not being 300 pounds. And they're so good. Everything she brings is so good, and the crew loves it. Everybody loves it when Kylie comes over. But we don't just love it when she brings the food. We love it because she comes over and she actually works on the cars. We do a lot of drivers here, a lot of driver development here. And very few want to ever work on the car, which is fine. They just want to bring their suitcase and their helmet and they go race and then they go home. Kylie wants to do more than that. She wants to come to the shop and work on the car. And so when you see videos of her working on the car, that's actually her working on the car. It's not like set up and here you go. And it's just, no, she's actually taking some of the bolts I have to loosen for her a little bit the first time. And we just edit that part out. But she's actually, loosening all the bolts, taking them off, dropping the oil out of the rear end, changing the gears herself. She put them in. So those are things that she does that other people won't do. And again, that's only from passion. It's not from because she's told to or she has to or she wants to. And that shows up. And that's why the crew loves her. Everybody here loves Kylie. It's like it's a joy when she shows up for us.
Now, Dave, you know that I have to ask this. So, Dave and I are both mechanics. Like I work on aircraft. He works on cars. So I have to ask this. How many times did it take her to figure out the righty tighty lefty loosey? Because there's a lot of people that still can't do it. And Dave can vouch for this.
Well, there's certain times I've been doing this for, with my dad for, well, I'm 41 years old. So I've been doing it since I've been 3 or 4 years old. When you're upside down, backwards, and left in a car, you still gotta kind of, all right, right.
I'm in an airport.
It's gotta go through your mind when you're up like this and you're trying to bust a bolt
And
loop.
it's so tight. And you're like, is this way tightening it more? Am I loosening it? Which way am I going? You still.
I actually
You're in
did
a,
it. I actually did it just yesterday. I was doing a simple oil change on a car, and this, they had taken it, to, some mega store and had the oil changed and probably put on with an impact gun. And I'm looking at it and I'm going, am I tightening this damn thing? So
Yeah.
I said, I just got done with one. I know my ratchet's not broke. I, sure, I'm not, Hulk Hogan, but, and you get that, you got to think real quick and you're like, no, I said, some asshole just put this on way too tight. And, now it's got me second guessing myself.
Exactly. That happens quite a bit. She did learn lefty loosey righty tighty though when we were doing some stuff, and she's like, "What?"
Oh
And
yeah.
I said, just remember that you'll figure it out as you go. And I said, except if it's like a 1967 or older Dodge car, then one side is the opposite way when you're tightening the lug nuts.
Yep. I've only heard stories of that. But yeah, I've heard there were many broken, lug studs on
Yes.
the old Dodges, and I believe European cars like Jaguars and stuff like that were
Yes.
that in the 60s and 70s. I could only imagine.
yeah, there's been
I don't know
times
if
when I've
I
done
ever
the same
shared
thing.
the I don't know if I ever shared the story on here, but I had a 76 Jaguar that was a true European car, and everything was backwards, from the way it was wired,
Yep.
to seat position. It was a right seat car, and I can't tell you how fast I switched everything to the American way. It's not stupid hard, but light bulbs do not like to flash the opposite current. But
Yeah.
they will if they're told to. But yeah, Kylie, we're super proud of you, and I know Rob would do the same thing. Just watching you, especially as a young lady having fun, and then we get super jealous because we're old now, and we can't do it, so we're living vicariously through you, and
Speak for
learning.
yourself.
Yeah.
I'm still young, fool.
41, that's young. I was in my prime at 41. That's young. You guys are young kids.
No, he's 41, Rob's 50 some, and I'm 35, so I'm the youngest out of all of them.
You guys are all young.
Tell you what,
Yeah.
if I was to hop in, we've got a couple K1 tracks around the area. These 8-9-year-olds would absolutely whip my tail.
Well, yeah, they got the power ratio going on there.
Right. I need to throw a bag of concrete underneath them just to kind of even things out a little bit.
That's right. That's right. That's what I say, anyways. Yeah, I mean, when I used to drag race, and when I went back, I was going to circle track race, and my nephew was driving a car that I bought for him, and I bought one for myself. And I was like a second slower than he was on the same track. And I swore I'd drive as hard as it could go. I just said, now I'm going to stick to crew chief in and let these young guys go back racing. That's where I've stayed since then. And just working with these young drivers, as you go along. It's just easier. And they all have some form of passion. I mean, all the ones we work with all have some form of passion. They get you motivated to work for them.
It's definitely an awesome program you guys have there.
Yeah, I would say it is. It's as a, crew chief, you do your own thing for a long time, and you're working with one guy or two guys. This has been like a crew chief dream job for me because I set up cars all day. That's all I do. I sent 2 cars to Phoenix ARCA cars today. They got in the truck and they left for Phoenix. I already did one Pro Late model for Kern this week. I'll probably do 2 more. I've got some Trans Am cars that we're going to get ready to go test in December. So that's all I do all day, and I work on good equipment. So it's a great job for me, and it's a dream crew chief job, really, because it's close to my house. I don't have to go, all the way to North Carolina and move my whole family, and I get to work with all these great up and coming drivers that you guys see right now on TV. They've all come through here, and I've worked with all of them. And so that's been a blessing.
Now, are we going to see anything over what we call winter over here? Kylie getting in one of those 88 cars and get some photo ops going around the track?
The vintage cars?
Yeah, the Jimmy and Jeff cars.
Probably not, because one is going to the garage that it was sitting in, and then the other one's going to go back, I think, to another shop where it was sitting for a while. Those cars came out. They had a specialty race at Sonoma about a month ago, and they came here and we did a service on them because they'd sat for like 2 years, and then one blew the transmission up while he was going around there.
Oh,
and
no.
So it's going to get a new transmission put in it, and then it'll go back and sit in the shop and look pretty for probably another year or two until someone takes it out again. Tom Clower, the Clower part of Nate Clower, he owns a lot of vintage cars, Trans Am cars, from the 60s Trans Ams to the 80s Trans Am cars, and he owns various cup cars that he has, and he kind of collects those and races them at the same time. The races that they have, they're not a real race, but they all race them.
Yeah, I want to say that was the highlight for me, because that's my heyday of cars.
Yeah,
was those two cars, and it's nice to just see those in a shop getting worked on.
Well, you see on that picture of Jimmy Johnson up there, he's from California. He's from El Cajon.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
This was my favorite driver back in the day.
It's El Cajon.
Freaking Dave always picks on me for it. 07 time.
Yeah. Jeff Gordon from right up here in Vacaville originally, right here by Sacramento. He used to race right down the street from where our shop is at Capital Quarter Midgets when he was a kid. So, I mean, there's a lot of guys from here besides those two, but, that's the great thing about the way they're back east now. Haley Deegan, Jesse Love, Tony Bridger, they're all from here. They're all from California. And they're racing back there. So
even my favorite driver, I'm a diehard Kyle Busch fan. He's from Vegas. Yep. Where you guys were just at.
Yeah, that's West Coast, it's right over the border. And I raced against him as far as crew chief, at the Bull Ring and at Kern when he used to race super late models more often. He's a real racer, another one of these guys that's a real old school race car driver, and that would be him.
So there could be a day when you have Brexton under your wing here within the next probably 8-9 years.
Could be, but I think they're going to do their own thing. I think they're building a little thing there with that they'll do it themselves. Kyle's already been on his own program before, so I think he's going to do that. I mean, I just see that happening. I doubt they fly everything out here. We got enough kids out here that'll come race that we're not short of talent. We get them all the time. They come in every year. We get 2 at least new ones, and then like I said, they advance on. They'll go super late model racing for themselves, or modified racing, or they move up further up the fish ladder and go ARCA racing. We have ARCA cars here that we do, but sometimes they go somewhere else and run the full ARCA season, if they can. So it's a program that just advances the driver to the next level, whether it's racing or communication or whatever they need. We just use all of our experience. I'm the youngest guy here, 55. So I'm the youngest guy. Mike's 59, Gil's 62, Rob's 60. And we just got so much racing experience to help these young guys out.
Well, I don't want to hold you guys up. I know you're at the race shop, but Kylie's probably ready to go home. But we greatly appreciate you guys coming on. Tony, Kylie, anytime you guys want to jump on together like this again, or if you want to be on by yourself, Tony, we're gonna have a whole new segment next season with Kylie. Um, I'm working on a couple other things. Probably have Kylie on one or two more episodes with us before the end of the season, and then 2025 is ramping up to be huge for us. So segment 3 is brought to you by Nordic Logistics. And Kylie, Tony, thank you guys for coming on tonight. And
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
congratulations on your championship.
I appreciate it. See you guys next time.
All right, see ya.
All right. Thank you, Kylie.
So, Dave, while I got a second, I'm going to share this. Tate said go ahead and share it. So, he just sent me a message. So, I will actually, as I'm going through these, here is your paint scheme for this upcoming week in Phoenix, Arizona. I don't know if you can see it.
How cool is that?
That is very sharp.
Yeah, I do love a good black and yellow and chrome.
Yeah, and then you got the Flying Foreman, Pell
Oh, yeah.
Union, Alliance Driveway Solutions, all the sponsors here. Tate sent this, and I freaking lost it. I mean, dude, he's got his own fire suit. Like, how freaking cool is this?
He was out racing it the other week.
Yeah, he sent me pictures or videos of it, and it won't let me transfer it from my phone to my computer right now. But how cool is that? He said that it was unbelievable.
The noise that thing makes is just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. So right here on the car is Billy Joe Presley memorial on the JCR car this weekend. I don't have a better picture of it, but this gentleman right here, that's who that is. Dave, do you by chance have a picture of that?
Unfortunately, I do not, sir.
Okay. I didn't think so. There they are wrapping the car.
Right.
But yeah, that's Billy Joe Presley on the JCR car this weekend. And then, like I said, guys, you can't miss that car. I mean,
No.
it doesn't pop like the orange one, but it's bright. I love it.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of the orange car, I'm glad we got some TV time for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And Jeremy got a little scuffed on the passenger side, and we kind of caught some, late race activities. But yeah, what cool cars we have every single week,
Absolutely.
and that's another thing that just absolutely, is awesome about, being a Jeremy Clements fan is, I get to show all these pictures and stuff to my friends and family, and they're, looking at it and going, well, it's not the same car. It's not the same car. It's not the same car. And I'm like, I know, that's what makes it absolutely awesome.
Right.
It'd be boring if, my wall was just lows.
Now, me, on the other hand, Pocono. Now, after today, I kind of went a little crazy, but I don't know. I don't really have much more room. I'm gonna have to start hanging stuff off the ceiling, and Adrian's not gonna be okay with that.
Uh, if it makes you feel any better, after Christmas, when I get a picture of that bad boy, it'll be hanging up on the ceiling.
So I brought it up with Kylie on the show. So this is what they did for me, which is really cool. It says a memory of Robert W. Peters Sr., which is my dad. Um, and that was on the championship car, which I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have a die cast made of that just so that way I can have that piece. Um, Also here is the aftermath of the Spartan Waste car.
Yeah, it looks like what it what it kind of looks like is the turkeys running really fast in Roadrunner style.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Meep, meep, and just absolutely flew past Jeremy.
Yeah. And then obviously I thought that was really cool how the tire marks are right through Dad's name. So I don't know if you guys seen that or not at the track, but I thought that was really cool to of Jeremy and Mark and all them to do. But Dave, I think I'm gonna share it. I wasn't going to. But I gotta give a shout out to Jeremy, Mark, Ryan, and my good friend Dave over here for autographing this sweet ass piece that I just added to my collection. That is the Pocono deck lid. So that
Yep.
is now officially in my collection of the Area 51 Pocono first sponsorship uh, podcast room, I guess. That's what you want to call it, right?
Yeah. And tell people a little bit about that piece. I mean, you learned some things when you were getting it to that you had never seen. Not being I don't want to say you're not a big sheet metal guy, but being up north, you don't get to see what the stuff actually is, or how
So,
heavy it is, or what pieces are hanging from it.
so I can tell you that if you can tell right here, that the spoiler is not just a piece that sits on top, which I knew this, but the spoiler goes under this right here, right underneath the waterfall here. And I will tell you right now, that waterfall is just wicked. It's flimsy as could be though, without that backing of the spoiler.
Hmm.
And if you like in that picture that I showed, that piece that was kind of kicked over, where the spoiler bent. I'll actually pull it back up so you guys can see it. But right here where the spoiler is bent, this section is flimsy. This spoiler goes from here all the way down, and honestly, like I was telling Dave, it's about like that thick all the way down the whole thing. And I didn't realize that it went all the way down to the very bottom of that. So Dave was telling me that without that spoiler going on, like once you remove that spoiler, that thing's like 3 pounds.
Yeah. And
That
then
thing
once
is
you put the spoiler back in
heavy.
there, I would say it's every bit of 10 to 15 pounds.
That's
And
easily 10 to 15 pounds.
yeah, and it's super awkward.
I don't know if I still have the picture of what I did with it. I'm gonna post it and then I'll share it. But what I did is I kind of went a little crazy. It was kind of funny, but I did something cool. So I was joking around with Dave and Rob, and I did this, and this is how it's mounted in my race room right now, and it's the coolest thing ever. It is actually mounted on the front of my desk, and it's not going to move. It's the coolest thing ever. And there's
Oh,
the everybody that signed it. Dave signed it here. I signed it there because Rob said I had to sign it because once I get rid of it, if I ever get rid of it, he said that he's taking it. So be it. If I end up getting rid of it, but yeah, that thing's freaking awesome. I love it. I gotta thank the Racing Warehouse for that amazing piece, and thank you for the discount of vote.
Yep.
That's what helped me get that.
Yeah. If you're not already a member of the Racing Warehouse on social media like Facebook, they run stupid sales all the time.
Yeah.
Like I think today or yesterday they were running, I want to say it was like 30 or 40% off noses and tails.
Yeah,
You know,
40% off, yeah.
yeah, I mean, if you're looking at say it's out of your budget at $400, $200 for a full nose or bumper is great money, especially shipped right to your door. It's not like they add shipping. What they
Yeah.
give you is, out the door, yeah, you got to pay taxes on it, just like every American does. But, you know, and that's how I was able to get, half of my stuff. Yeah, obviously I live, 15 miles away. Um, but, you know, it,
You okay? My screen froze.
what was that?
I said my screen froze. That's what I was
Oh,
trying
okay.
to get it done too.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so I don't have with Rob not being here, Rob was able to not help us with the race recap. Obviously, I was able to watch part of it, but I wasn't able to watch the whole thing. So I'm not able to give much of a race recap. Um, we wanted to share the paint scheme for Alliance. The Jeremy did a good job at Martinsville. The car wasn't too tore up. It looked good. Looked really sharp going around the track. Um, next week, as long as everything goes smooth, we will have on, if I'm not mistaken, we will have on Justin Grosner or Grauser. So I'll bring him in. And then the following week, as long as everything goes smooth, like I said, we'll have Jeremy's sister and possibly Jeremy on the show.
And if things don't go great, it'll be my cat Mara.
Yeah. No, nobody said that. We'll have an interview with Rob. Um, because we've had an interview with myself and now Dave. Um, but I want to thank all of our fans out there. I want to thank Dave. I want to thank Rob for everything that you guys do. Um, Rob and I might go live just just to have some fun this weekend. We're not sure. Rob's going to his first Toledo Walleye game this weekend. Uh, so we'll see if we can get Rowdy Rob out there. I'm not sure if we can. He's not bringing Sonny, so he'll be out of his element.
See, I think the best concussion protocol is to get Rob on ice skates. I really think that watching TV for all these years, like House and some of the real Grey's Anatomy. I think that's, in my opinion, the best way to get rid of a concussion is to get Rob on ice skates.
Oh boy, I could
I,
see that.
I
Rob
it,
falling on his butt.
it could go completely wrong, or I could be a damn genius.
I really don't feel like having to take him to the ER and explain to Jen why he's in the ER. Rob decided to go ice skating and fell on his ass and broke his head. Now he's really bad. Now he's got a severe concussion instead of a mild concussion.
But Peter, something's wrong with this horse.
um, just throw this out here real quick. So segment 1 and 2 were brought to you by Alliance Driveway Solutions and Spartan Waste. Episode 4 was brought to you by Nordic Logistics. And episode 3 was brought to you by Action RV. Next week, like I said, we should have a good show. If anybody's interested in purchasing Kylie Glick merchandise, please go to her website. Also, go to her Facebook page um, to order some hats, shirts, whatever you may. She's got a bunch of stuff. Um, reminder, go to stickygears.com, purchase one of the Area 51 Racing t shirts for $15. A portion of that money goes directly to Jeremy Clements Racing to keep Jeremy on the track. Please check out Anna Amor Designs for your Area 51 merchandise, along with t shirts, hats, koozies, anything, right, Dave?
I love it all.
She does great work.
She does great work. If you didn't see, Stacy was modeled and her new Buccaneers stuff. I think that got posted today. That was her birthday present.
Nice.
Just absolutely awesome stuff.
Yeah, she's got the big stickers like this. Obviously, we have the little ones, $4 for these, $8 for those. If you're looking for any t-shirts, sweatshirts, koozies, flags, whatever you can come up with, she can muster it up. Trust me on that. Um, get a hold of Anna on Facebook or get a hold of us and we'll get you in contact with her. Um, the Beard Man's not here, so you and I are gonna have to do this very well. The
Can we
guy,
get ready?
the Gale Beard Company has partnered with us, Area 51 Racing Podcast, as the official beard product of our podcast. Go to galebeard.com, place your order, and enter the discount code Area51 and get 15% off and free shipping. And remember, guys, make them say it. Gale.
Golly.
Check out the Racing Warehouse for your Jeremy Clements merchandise. Also, go to Armadillo to get your shirts, hats, whatever you may have. They have a bunch of that. As you can tell, with my post I shared with you guys, the Racing Warehouse, I'm starting to turn into, as Rob said, distribution number 3.
Right.
But I can't thank them enough. Emily and Eric did an awesome job helping me get that. And Dave, thanks for picking it up and taking it to RJ Rockers last week and having everybody sign it. That was freaking awesome.
And we had a hell of a time. I wish you could have been there.
Yeah,
You know,
we're gonna try next year.
Yep, you always say I should try to make it up there. You guys try to get down here because when we all get together, you all the sponsors, Tate, Ryan, you know, it's we just have a absolute blast while we're there.
Yeah,
So I would love to have both of you guys down.
Wings, etc. For sure, we're going, and RJ Rockers. RJ Rockers is already my go-to. I might even take my tap that I got and have Jeremy sign it. Be like, hey, we got a tap. I'm gonna put it to my racing simulator. Start using my tap. How cool would that be? But I gotta give a shout out, like I said, to all of our fans, um, Dave, Rob, everybody that makes this podcast possible. 45 episodes are in the books. Um, Got to give a huge shout out to all of our partners: Spartan Waste, 98.3 at Fox Sports Spartanburg, Impel Union, Alliance Driveway Solutions, First Pacific Funding, Elite Towing and Recovery, Whitetail Smokeless, Fly Inform Concrete Structures, Runner's Roost, Matman Designs, Action RV, Booze Pops, Nordic Logistics, Wings, etc., Anamore Designs, Gale, Surefit Companies, High Speed Auto, Enigma Tattoo, Kylie Glick Racing, Jeremy Clements, and Jeremy Clements Racing. And yeah, what a 45 episodes, Dave.
Yeah, I know.
This
Absolutely crazy.
and like I was saying earlier, we've had our ups, we've had our downs in 2024. I'm looking forward to 2025 being absolutely lights out. I mean, I can give you guys a little bit of a teaser. Episode 51 will be, as long as everything goes good, it will be the Clemens family as episode 51 to start
Huh.
out the season.
Speaking of the Clemens family, do you have the picture I sent you of
The
Kennedy?
the little car.
Oh yeah, you know,
Oh yeah, I do have that.
yeah. Well, so over at RJ Rockers, I haven't personally met her yet, and I had the joy of meeting this young lady, and somehow she was able to get a Corvette from Mr. Whitaker before I did.
That thing is cool. I like it.
Yeah, she had on a little race suit, the whole 9 yards. I mean, it doesn't get any cuter than that.
Yeah. Now, episode I will say this now because I already have it done. Episode 52 will be one of our biggest episodes. 51 is going to be big, but 52 is going to be even bigger. I'm not going to tell you who. I'm not going to leak it yet, but it's a done deal. I told Dave and Rob today. I'm super excited about it. But 2025 season is going to be off the chain. Like, we are going to have some big names on the podcast.
I've also got a huge surprise. I wasn't supposed to leak it out yet, but my huge following from Nigeria will be live here in the basement with me. I'm flying him in. It's going to be epic, guys. It is going to be epic. Yeah, when I tell you this kid's off the chain, off the chain. Shit's going down.
Oh boy. I don't
I
even want to know.
I got to find a Nigerian kid now. I've already leaked it. I've got to find this kid.
Oh, that's great. I love it. All right, guys. Well, with that being said, this is Dave or Bobby and Dave hang. You got me all screwed up. Damn Nigerian kids got me all messed up.
I can remember halfway through the year I was challenging David Hasselhoff, and now Nigeria is my number one fan club. I mean,
Oh shit.
what a whirlwind of a year.
Oh man, I don't think I've laughed that hard in a second. But yeah. With that being said, I'm Bobby. That's Dave,
I'm probably Dave.
and we will definitely see you guys next weekend or next week on Tuesday, as long as Rob makes it home in time. But yeah. Well, with that being said, y'all have a good night, and we will see you guys next week.
It's a veteran underdog ice cream truck. Booze pop, baby, it's booze pop, baby. Bringing people together. One booze pop at a time. Let's go. We're gonna rock out with our pops up, baby. It's the only pop that keeps you warm. You can rock out to go to boozepop.com.
This is episode 45. We are out. Y'all have a good night. See you guys next week.
See y'all.